Hey guys, this is Andrew from the Seed of Life Academy of Health Science and Natural Law, and I'm here today to present my video number 6 of my Natural Law series, the Hermetic Principles of Natural Law, or the General Principles of Natural Law. Whew, man, there's been a lot of journeys kind of getting up to this point, and I've kind of thought a lot about this topic today, which is what we're covering today, the law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect is one of those principles that, like all of these principles, are very paradoxical, but this one in particularly it's very self-evident, but it's one of those principles that is pinnacle, I would say. I'm going to give a quick rundown of kind of some of the stuff that we've gone over the last couple of weeks, and then I'll go ahead and dive into the law of cause and effect. Cause and effect. So, today is video number 6 of the Natural Law series. The last course we just covered, we covered the principle of rhythm. Yeah, and that was a good principle, kind of explaining that there is an inflow and outflow of all of existence in nature. Everything has its tides. Everything can operate or operates in a cyclical and rhythmic motion, if you were to look at something close enough. And I explained that in detail in the previous video. And today's video is kind of explaining the law of cause and effect in a way that is showing how those manifestations come into existence, essentially. Let's go over the principles really quickly. The first video was the law of mentalism, stating that the all is mind, everything is mental. Basically saying that our created world is a sequence of mental energy manifesting in different forms, and that at the core of existence, we are a part of the mind of creation, is what you could essentially call it. The same way explaining on the macrocosmic or the microcosmic way that everything we do in life is based upon our mental energies or lack of mental energies that have brought our reality into effect, which the law of cause and effect, we'll talk about that a little bit more today. Correspondence, that as above so below, as below so above, as within so without, as without so within. There's a corresponding fractal reflection of manifestation that precedes all of reality. By fractal, I mean things that are self-replicating. Example, the roots of a tree, the cells of the body, the division of the proportions of your fingers. This law of correspondence proceeds into all of existence on every scale. Correspondence. Vibration, that the universe inherently, at its core, at its base, at its principle, is vibratory energy. Electrical and magnetic vibratory energy, or also spiritual, naturally occurring vibratory energy, that at the root of all existence, the atoms, electrons, protons, everything, the strings of creation are electrical vibratory energy, electrical and magnetic vibratory energy, which has been proven time and time again by science and many other philosophies throughout history. Polarity, that there are two poles to all things. There is no up without a down, no left without a right, no in without an out, no anything without anything. There's always two extremes, two poles to all of existence, and that's another one we discussed. Rhythm, I just explained a little bit ago, that everything has its tides, everything has its poles. Today, the law of cause and effect. Every effect has its cause, every cause has its effect. There is no such thing. Chance is but a name for a law not recognized, and I'll explain that in a bit. And that there are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. That's the axiom for the day. Gender, that there is gender within all things. There are masculine and feminine principles to all of existence. A harder, more straight side of things, a curvy, more soft side of things within all things. And gender not necessarily referring to male or female, that just being one of its many expressions, but masculinity and femininity preceding all of existence in every form and in every way, giving example to the different incarnations that we have throughout our existence and reality. And then care, the principle of care, that all things seek to maintain, sustain, protect, and defend themselves, or keep a state of homeostasis. Those are the laws, the natural principles, the Hermetic principles of natural law. And now we're going to go ahead and jump into the law of cause and effect. And hopefully I don't get rain going out here. The axiom for the day is every cause has its effect, every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law, and that chance is but a name for a law not recognized, meaning there's no such thing as chance. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. By chance, I mean, let's back it up. Every cause has its effect, every effect has its cause. Meaning that nothing just happens in reality without something preceding its existence or causing it to occur. And then once that causation has occurred, another sequences of cause and effects that stems back to the beginning of fucking creation will then continue. And there's nothing that one person could do that won't eventually affect something else. Okay? So being more aware of these causes and effects, we can more effectively design our life. So let's go ahead and break it down into these things. Chance is but a name for a law not recognized, meaning there is no such thing as chance. Nothing just happens without a preceding reason, or nothing happens without an effect, without a cause for it to occur. For example, you get heartburn. Heartburn is an example. You're getting heartburn because of something you ate previous. It's not just happening for no reason. It's not just happening out of nothing. Every cause has its effect. And you can go back to that many times. Let's break down how I'm going to go ahead about teaching this lecture. I break these laws down in previous videos and in previous ways, knowing that these laws are somewhat paradoxical and that they apply to basically everything in existence. They're encompassing and true because of that, but kind of complicated to discuss unless they are broken down. So I break them down into three major realms or planes. The spiritual plane, meaning the underlying energies that precede the universe, that basically are the causal factor for anything else to occur. So the unseen phenomena that cause things to occur. The energetic states that cause things to occur. The mental realm, how the mental energy or that energy is then manifested into sentient or conscious thought, or unsentient or unconscious thought, which would then go into the manifestation of the physical realm or the physical phenomena that we all live within. Okay? All right. Some of the points I wanted to get into. This law is referring to the fact that everything in reality is brought forth by a chain of causes and effects that have brought reality into existence. Meaning, everything has a beginning, and everything has something or some point in space-time that has brought whatever the hell it is into reality. And reality is strung together in this chain of something, action and reaction. An action occurs, a reaction occurs. An action occurs, a reaction occurs. I'll give a quick example. You wouldn't exist as a person unless your mother and father somehow got together, had their actions together, which have then brought forth into effect your existence of being a human through their procreation. Correct? Or really in any way. Something occurred to cause you to exist. And your existence in everything that's within your life is based upon causes that you have set forth into motion, which are bringing your current reality into its existence. And your reality can only be changed by setting forth another sequences of causations that would bring new or alternative effects into manifestation. Okay? The fact that every action has a reaction, there's nothing that one can do that won't have an effect on something in some way. So, I throw that marker on the ground. That marker rolls to the side in accordance to the laws of gravity to make it go one direction. The vibration of that shaking wave has then moved the atoms and electrons that are surrounding this object to affect something else going on in my surrounding environment, which will then ripple across all of space and time. The intensity of that vibration is most focused on the point where it actually occurred. But regardless of basically the intensity of the effect, nonetheless, the surrounding environment is affected in some way, shape, or form. The intensity of the effect is basically a result of where it's occurring, but at the same time, regardless of how small the effect is, it is still affecting reality in some way, shape, or form. The law of causation proceeds on every scale. So, causation meaning this chain of causes and effects. Even on the atomic scale, so atoms and electrons and quarks and quasars, all these little things have an effect on our reality. So you get a bug, a parasite in your stomach. That's a little tiny organism living its life, going through its processes. But as it affects you internally, it is then affecting a larger being in the space-time, which would be a human or wherever this parasite is. At the same time, our mental vibrations, so the vibrations of the mind, a thought can then affect our current reality as well. Okay? I have a thought, I then bring that thought into manifestation, it affects reality. Yeah. And at the same point, this law of causation also stems back and forth through the rotations of the planets, the rotations of the galaxy, the rotations of the universe, oscillating based upon causes and effects that have been set forth throughout time that are causing the planet to rotate, that are causing the sun to rotate, that are causing the planets to rotate around the sun, vice versa, etc., etc., etc. These laws proceed all throughout the multiverse. Every cause has its effect, every effect has its cause. Period. That's a basic rundown of that. Let's go ahead and jump into the mental realm. Knowing and realizing that every cause has its effect, if you can focus your mind or mental energy into an issue that you might have in your life, or can realize the cause of a problem, then you can affect how that problem is perceived or handled. Okay? By polarizing, like we talked about when we covered the law of polarity, you can polarize a mental state by directing mental energy towards it in one way, shape, or form. Okay? Yeah. Your reality is essentially a combination of mental, emotional, and physical actions that have brought you, who you are, into existence, into how you live today. You live in the home that you live in because of a cause that you set forth into motion, or someone else set into motion, which then you had the conscious effects to then make another chain of causation come into that understanding. So you chose to put on the shirt that you're wearing. You chose to cut your hair the way you want to cut your hair. You chose to have a child. You chose to buy the car you want to drive. You're choosing to live in the country you live in. You choose all these things that are now in effect the reality in which you live within. And in order to change anything in your life, you must change the sequences of causations that are bringing the next steps of effects into your life. Same thing in the concept of disease. We as a society tend to focus a whole lot on the effects of a disease or the symptoms of a disease instead of looking at the root cause that is bringing forth an issue or bringing forth the disease. And that is limiting. That is a limiting perception of how to go about curing something. And generally, most diseases are causal factors of mental, spiritual, psychological, nutritional effects that are then causing an issue to occur. Okay? So, your mental reality, the world that you live in, is based upon a sequences of cause and effects. And then we'll go ahead and jump right on into the physical realm, because I don't want this video to take too long, and I'll probably do a more lengthy video of this a little later on, but I'm kind of getting rained on right now. Nothing comes into physical manifestation without a chain of spiritual, mental, and mental causations that precede the effects. So the physical realm is a manifestation of spiritual energy and mental energy that are then bringing forth the physical energy into existence. So spiritual energy or electromagnetic energy being the base material, the base energetic state, mental energy being that energy being directed in some way, shape, or form, and then physical energy being the physical energy that goes forth into creating something. I'm giving an example of a chair in this example here. Chairs don't just come into existence for no fucking reason, correct? A man had to first perceive or imagine the chair coming into manifestation and then taking the physical action to gaining the wood, the materials, the screws, whatever necessary to bring forth the chair into physical manifestation. But first originated from that point as a thought within the mind of the creator of whoever built the fucking chair. That mental energy is manifest for the spiritual and electrical neurons that are causing forth your brain to perceive things one way or the other. There's an energetic microcosmic energy that is causing your neurons in your brain to react in a specific way to then cause the imagination of the individual to then take physical action into manifesting the fucking chair. All right? So there's a chain of causation stemming from the spiritual realm, the mental realm, and the physical realm of causes that are then bringing forth the reality of the chair. You get where I'm coming at with that? There is something that preceded the physical manifestation, and that is the same way of all of existence. And it's happening not just in human life, but it's happening in all forms of life all the time, some consciously, most unconsciously. Everything in existence is now basically somewhere in the space-time continuum. There is a point of creation in which everything is being brought forth from, and everything is connected. Everything literally is connected through this chain of causes and effects. And has been in the past, will be in the present, and the present causes bring forth the future. Okay? So by understanding this law, we can learn to be causers of our reality instead of just taking the effects of our reality, and regardless of the quality of it, being subject to them, because we're not causing the reality in which we desire for ourselves, okay? So, all that being said, causes and effects affect all of reality. Every cause has its effect, every effect has its cause, alright? Something to think on. Signing out from Andrew, the Seed of Life Academy of Health Science and Natural Law. Peace.